Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where the affair partner left because there was so much drama. What? Of course there's going to be drama. How dumb can you be? Let's begin. My husband had a 3-month affair with a married woman he met online, and they agreed to leave their spouses for each other. Posted by Reddit user StantK1023.
My husband cheated on me with a woman he allegedly met on Snapchat. We have been together 8 years and married for 5. 6 weeks after they met, they both told their spouses they wanted a divorce, but at the time he was denying there was another woman. I found out about her roughly a month after he initially told me he wanted to separate. She lived 10 hours away, and they were meeting up in another state and spending weekends together at a bed and breakfast. The plan was for them to divorce their spouses, and her to move to our state so they could start a life together. I ended up contacting affair partner's husband so we could piece together their lies. An affair partner decided to break things off with my husband because it was too much drama. Wayward husband decided that he wanted to make things work with us after that, and didn't want to break up our family, etc. I agreed to give it a chance, but he still isn't being completely honest. He swears that the two of them never had sex, even though they were spending weekends together at hotels, and refuses to admit to that. Should I take his word for it? Will it really change anything if I know for sure what they did together? Any advice is appreciated. Edit. I am aware that they had sex regardless of how much he denies it. I suspect that he is choosing to work things out with me because he cannot afford to be on his own financially right now. I have tried to kick him out, but he has nowhere to go, and legally I cannot make him leave. I am thinking I should keep things peaceful around the house until he gets back on his feet, and then proceed with the separation. This will minimize the amount of negativity that my kids will be exposed to during this crap show. Another thing that I am really struggling with is, do I discredit him being a faithful and loving partner for 9 years over one huge mistake while he was going through a rough time? It's so hard to look at these things objectively when it's your own life.
OP, why are you giving him another chance? You do realize he's only there because he has nowhere to go, and because she left him to go back to her husband, not because he doesn't want to break up his family. Come on, OP. 2 grown-ass adults spending the weekend together in a B&B? Yep, they definitely didn't have sex. And yes, you should definitely divorce him. The utter disrespect that he left a long-term relationship for someone he only knew for 3 months is absolutely ridiculous. He won't respect you and will do it again in the very near future. I'm sorry, but you need to show your kids that this is something you do not tolerate. Otherwise, they will grow up thinking this is okay and subsequently set them up to be in toxic, cheating relationships. And now for today's second story. Should I tell his pregnant wife? Posted by Reddit user ShrekAttack88.
Honestly, I'm just really struggling with what to do and could use some advice. I met a man on a chat site a couple months ago. After a couple days of chatting publicly in a chat room and on cam, we exchanged Snapchats at his request. It wasn't remotely romantic at first. We just really seemed to really hit it off, sending video snaps back and forth, learning about each other's lives, etc. For context, I am American and he is Australian, so the times we could chat were kind of weird. Mostly late afternoon to late evening for me, and early morning to late afternoon for him, basically his work hours. After a couple weeks, we were literally sending snaps back and forth for like 7 hours a day, every day. Despite living across the world from one another, we related on a lot. He told me 18 months ago 11-year relationship he had ended. And a big factor in that was him and his fiancée having a miscarriage at 20-something weeks. This is something that really resonated with me, as I had a miscarriage in my last relationship that resulted in a breakup. Plus, I had also been in an 11-year relationship. Aside from that, he was just the nicest, most caring guy I had ever spoken to. I felt so seen, listened to, and respected. He was constantly telling me how in awe he was of my beauty, passion, and intelligence, and things started to get kind of romantic and ultimately sexual. There were videos and pictures and the whole shebang. However, it was not at all just sexually driven. He was super respectful of me and constantly told me how he didn't just want something sexual with me, how he wished he could just come home to me every day, how special he thought I was, and that the more he gets to know me, the more he likes me. A month in, and we were sharing what I thought was every detail of our lives with each other. We talked about past traumas. We would snap with our friends and family around, which he told me they all knew about me, and he was telling me how he was looking into tickets to America, which he said are pretty expensive, but you're worth it. He was going so far as to say things like, I really, really like you. I'm legitimately falling for you. I want to tell you that other word, but I'll refrain. I want you in my life, like forever. I haven't felt like this about someone in a really long time. You make me so happy and I just want to make you feel so special. The worst part of my day is when I leave work and have to go home to a house alone, and then you're asleep and I can't talk to you. Anyway, there were always a few things I found strange about him. He told me he hates technology and using his phone, so in weekends he chooses to just be out in nature with his mates and doesn't check it much. He also told me that due to him losing his son, he deleted all social media. I also had asked him his last name, but a Google search of him turned up literally nothing. Well, yesterday morning, I decided to go super internet sleuth to try to find a trace of this man on the internet. He wears shirts to his job that have the name of the company on it. So I Googled that, his first name, and his city, and lo and behold, a LinkedIn came up, but the last name was different. From there I found an Instagram and a Facebook, with pictures of a wedding from January 2021. This man told me he was engaged but never married. I sent him a message once again asking him to confirm the fake last name he gave me, and he assured me that was him. That's when I confronted him and said that I know he's lying, but I didn't specify about what. This man crumbled like a house of cards. He told me he's married and his wife is pregnant. He said he's been lying to me and her. He said he's a piece of shit, etc. He was freaking out about the possibility I might ruin his life and maybe I was already calling his wife. He asked me not to involve her. I didn't reply at all. Within an hour he had deleted his Snapchat completely, our only means of communication. I'm assuming he thought this would delete all evidence. What he didn't know is that I recorded myself on webcam opening all of his snaps yesterday. This includes the first ones too, before he knew that I knew, where he literally starts by saying welcome to the best part of my day, when I get to talk to you all day long. And of course it includes his confession. Should I tell his wife? My friends are torn. I don't want to hurt a pregnant woman who will likely be blindsided. They've been together 12 years, but I have to imagine he will keep doing this. And the level of emotional cheating is pretty severe. I mean, this guy would walk me around his house, their house, and say things like, yeah, I was originally building this house for my family to live in, but obviously that didn't work out. You can be the first one to use my bathtub. I mean, I think he's the absolute scum of the earth, and I hate him for what he's done to me. False hope after divulging to him my past heartbreaks and traumas, but what he's done to her is so much worse. Edit. Sorry, I wanted to add that it isn't confirmed his wife is pregnant. My best friend and sister both separately mentioned that he could have lied about this to keep me from telling her. Edit 2. Just wanted to clarify that 99.9% of our snaps were all video, not text. So when I say he snapped with friends and family around, I mean they were in the videos and he was like telling them to say hi. No idea who they must have thought he was snapping, but I know they heard my American accent. Also, because this was apparently confusing, I found out the other morning that he had been lying before he was awake. By the time he woke up, I had not sent him any accusatory messages, just one asking him to confirm his last name. So he wasn't suspicious at first, and his first messages to me of the day were his usual incredibly happy and sweet self. Knowing he lied and realizing I had no proof, I turned on my webcam to open all of these snaps and try to capture how he spoke to me in case I needed proof, not yet knowing if he even was still married or whatever. TLDR. I met a man across the world on the internet. We proceeded to have an emotional and sexual relationship. Found out he has a pregnant wife. Should I tell her? Update. Just wanted to update everyone. I reached out to his wife via Instagram. This was my initial message to her. Hi, I understand this is a complicated situation and I truly have no intentions to hurt you. I've just felt like if it were me I'd want to know, but I don't want to force that on you. Just give you the option if you want to take it. Your husband has been talking to me extensively for over a month, for many hours a day claiming to be single. He's shown me your home and claiming he lives alone. He has been very emotional and also sexual. I also know there have been other girls before me. I only discovered a couple days ago he had been lying to me extensively. I do have proof if you want it. He does not know about videos I have. He deleted Snapchat very quickly after coming clean to me. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. Literally anything. I can go into detail if you want. He specifically asked me not to contact you, which leads me to believe you'd probably want to know. She responded incredibly kindly, thanked me, and asked for the proof. I sent her everything I had. She told me this is unfortunately not the first time. She asked for specific details and I gave them to her. She seems like the absolute sweetest. I hope she gets away from this psycho. Thank you everyone for your advice on my original post. Reaching out was the right thing to do.
Good on you and her, OP. Sometimes women respond unkindly, obviously hurt, and taking it out on the wrong person. I hope she leaves him and drains him dry in the divorce. That dude's a giant piece of shit. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.